Okay, we've got this application up and running now. So we've got Webpack running, we've got Hello World. In this video, I'm going to talk about how we can actually provide multiple items so that we can display on the screen as a to-do list app, uh, as the first step of the to-do list app. So in here, what we want is a to-do list item. So I'm going to start by creating a domain folder, and then within that, I'm going to create a file called to-do item.js. Right, so in this one, we need to say export default class to-do item. Okay, and then in this to-do item, we want to set up two things. So I'll start by supplying a constructor, and then basically we want this dot id, and then this dot text, this dot done equals to false. Okay, so then the id is going to be supplied, and then the text is also going to be supplied. Okay, text, there you go. So one thing very important in here is we need to say export class, otherwise we can't use it somewhere else. And also we need to say export default class, otherwise JavaScript is going to complain. And then basically, because we say this in here for these three items, they are all going to be public. So when we provide this constructor, when we call this constructor to create this to-do item, we only need to supply the ID, the text. ID is very important in here because when we iterate items, later on you'll see, if we iterate items, if we don't supply the IDs, then basically React is going to complain. Okay, so that's our to-do item as a domain class in here. The next step is going to our app, and then we want to import from our current directory domain, and then that we don't need the JS, and then in here we want to do item. Okay, so then we've got this class imported. Okay, so in here we also want to set up a constructor in our application. So constructor, so anytime we want to use the state, we need a constructor with a super, called the super class. Okay, a super method that comes from React component, and then at this point we set up our constructor with some states that works in a way that React expects. So let's create our state. Okay, and then it's a good idea to have it as an object. So in this state, we want our to-do items, and then it's going to be a list. Okay, so in here, we want to set up, we want to set up some to-do items. So we just say to new to-do items, and then let's say ID is 1, and then 1, and then 2, and then we'll also have 3 as well. Okay, so then we've got 3 items in our to-do items. Once we've got our states, so basically in a React application, 2 common ways to maintain data. One of them is called state, the other one is called props. So we'll worry about props later. For now, we'll just look at states. So in the render, we can only have one parent. So when we want multiple items in here, then we need the h1. Okay, so let's put to do. Okay, so ul li, that's what I want to do. So basically, when we have multiple items in here, we need to wrap all of them in one div or just one parent. The reason we need to do that is because this is JSX. JSX only allows you to have one parent because it's going to convert all of this into a particular JavaScript statement, and when you have multiple of them, it just doesn't cope. Okay, so we've got a list of items on the top. So what we now need to do is just getting the list. So we just do this dot state dot to do items, right, which are already set up on the top. And then what we need to do is map. Okay, and then in this map, this map function, so what we then need to do is just getting one of them, right, item, and use this arrow function. So then we can just li in here to do item dot text, right? Okay, so if I save that, you'll see cannot read property to do items of now. I believe this is just not rendering properly. Okay, reload to do, and then this time it doesn't even say anything. So at this point, if we want that to be displayed, we need to return. Okay, so if you take out this curly bracket in here, then you don't need to write return. Otherwise, you need to write that. Okay, so if we now have that display over here, it's going to complain because the li doesn't have a key. So that's why we needed to add the id at the beginning. So we say now we have a key using to do item log id. Then if we save that and let it live reload, then it's now happy. There you go. This is our first step of a to-do list app. Basically, have a domain object, and then each object is going to be rendered in the to-do list.